Oh, I didn't move. Rockin' in John Paul's. Dude, you know this shit is it's way too hot. It's like 100 degrees today, man.
I know it, man. Take it.
Shit, there we go. Alright, so all you people that don't know what's going on right now, Weller's on vacation, but I got him on the phone. What's up, Weller?
What up? What up?
So, what we're doing is I'm going to be gone this weekend too, but we wanted to get something out there for Sunday, so we've been talking about the UFO shit. We're going to do a little special thing after me and Weller chop it up for a minute here. I got all the witnesses, my kids here. So we'll do that part. But
I've been looking forward to the story too myself. And, you know, if everybody don't know, I haven't heard the story either.
you know, because the way it is with the UFO stuff, man, or just like anything else, if you've seen Bigfoot, nobody else has. They think you're crazy, man. That's why. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you. I believe in Bigfoot. Everybody gives me shit. I know he's out there.
Dude, the thing with Bigfoot, and I'd like to do an episode on Bigfoot too, man, but I got a fucking cool ass Bigfoot story when me, Sean, and Matt McCollum were fishing up Klamath Falls in Oregon.
So you see him?
No, I didn't see him, man, but fucking, I got a good Bigfoot story for when we tell that. I didn't see him, but the fucking dude we talked to fucking scared the shit out of me, man, and we were camping. We were up in the hills a couple days away, you know, so I didn't sleep for like the next 2 nights after that shit.
So you think there's a Bigfoot like a monkey?
No, I think there's like it's the link between us and, you know, Neanderthal or whatever. I think they're just, you know, it's a link. It's
okay.
a link in there. I think something like that. Cause man, there's way too many shit. Look at the Indians. You know, the Indians that talk about the big red people. You know, the hairy red people they used to kick it with. You're talking Aztecs, Mayans, all kind. I mean, there's a lot of Bigfoot shit, dude.
Yeah, I don't know about the hair part, because, I mean, Floyd's never changed, and I wouldn't call him a Bigfoot.
He's got Chewbacca in the headlock. Shit, well, I forgot, man. We need to start out the way we normally do, but I noticed since it is, it's only been like 2 days or 3 days since our last show.
Yeah, today's Wednesday.
So, I noticed we got a new subscriber, Steven. I didn't get his last name or where it's from, but appreciate you subscribing. And anybody watching, man, hit us up on the subscribing shit, because it makes our egos feel good. We're slowly...
Leave a comment.
Yeah, leave comments. We really dig that. I mean, we switched to this closer format just because people had said something about it, so I enjoy it, man. I enjoy them telling us we need to do a little something different.
For show. For show.
Oh, you know what else I want to say, man? You know, this month is Pride Month for gay folks, dude. You know.
Oh shit! Okay. Happy Pride Month, Fred.
Yeah, happy Pride Month, man. You know, my niece came over with her girlfriend earlier, and I was talking to them about stuff, you know, and I mean they got their own little clique, or you know, the way they go about doing things, but they ain't hurt nobody, man. They're doing their own thing. I don't mind it at all.
Oh shit! Don't let Fox News hear you say that phrase.
Hey, man.
You're evolving, bro.
Dude,
you're evolving.
You know I haven't watched Fox since fucking Bill O'Reilly got shut down, man.
Now that's cool. Hey, yeah, I hear what you're saying, bro. To each their own. If you're happy, that's fucking awesome.
Fuck yeah, man. I mean, just like when you got one of our bros falls in love, or he got a new girlfriend or something like that, you know, you see that glimmer and the way they start changing or acting a little different because they're around somebody, you know, trying to impress them.
Yeah.
Yeah, she got that
new
little
love.
She got that thing going on. Yeah, it's new love, man. I like it. I like to see that. I still get that look from my old lady sometimes, man. She'll give me this look and I'm like, you know what? I fucking love you still. You know.
I'm tearing up, dude.
Hey, dude, you know it's fucking... You've been with your old lady a long time, man. It's hard to be fucking hardcore in love every single day, you know what I'm saying? But it happens still.
Oh yeah, for sure, dude. That's how you know you got your fucking partner till you die.
Yeah, I dig that shit, man. It's a good feeling. Hey, so you went and seen Han Solo, huh? Or was it Solo?
Solo, that was a pretty good movie. I liked it.
Now, don't you think Chewbacca, don't you think he came from like a Bigfoot shit?
I think it was probably based on something like that. I would think so, because that's what you kind of image, you know, when you think of a Bigfoot, you know, like that or Harry and the Hendersons.
Yeah, I think of him like, because Chewbacca's got the size and maybe he's got thicker hair, like he's from a cold climate, like maybe a Yeti.
Oh, Yeti, yeah. I think the Yetis are definitely, I think there's multiple Yetis.
Dude, I'm just wondering if maybe like they live underground or if they're dimensional or, you know, we got to do some research on the Bigfoot shit before we do that, but.
Yeah, I watched some of the stuff searching for Bigfoot. You know what? Well, you changed subject a little bit. I was listening back to the last one. Dude, you said Jamie Lee Curtis is a hermaphrodite?
Dude, you never heard that rumor, dude?
I never heard that, dude. It just fucking rocked me the other day.
Yeah, dude, because I mean, what was that movie? No Lies or something she did with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Okay, what, did it look like she had a bulge?
No, but in that movie, I mean, I wanted to bone her. She was looking nice, dude. And in The Fish Called Wanda, she looked good, too. But then
Who told you this?
I heard some shit back on the old Don and Mike show, dude, when they were doing some shit on Tony Curtis, and that's his daughter. And, like, when she was born, she had both genitalia.
Oh, really? I'm going to look that up. I'm going to Google that.
Yeah, it was
maybe I'll ask AOJ.
Dude, just call little Jimmy, dude.
Yeah, I should telepathically, yeah.
Dude, do a telepathic fucking shout out, dude. Hey, I don't know how this. I can pick you up good in the earphones, but I don't know how it's coming out on this thing, man.
I'm sure it's coming out good.
I hope
the other one did.
Yeah, I mean Mark Ruiz. I mean, fucking, we were doing that off of iPhone now, but now we got the Samsung. But yeah, man, I'm gonna miss you. I ain't gonna see you for like almost 2 weeks, man.
Yeah. We'll get a good one when we come back though.
Yeah, we'll have it up, going down, hitting up that Alien Con. Oh
shit! Oh, perfect timing to hear about your story too.
I know, man. It fucking all kind of ties together, but that's the whole reason why I'm going down there, man. Is I want to meet some people that have similar experiences, you know.
Yeah. Too bad. You know, ask some of those people if they live close and have them on.
You know what? That would be cool. That would be cool.
If you meet somebody in the area, see if they'll come on.
That would be cool, man.
To get another story, different perspective.
Well, I know from checking out the sites that where you you know, what is it? You go in and you tell them that you saw a UFO, like you reported you seen one. There's a shitload in Elk Grove, man. A shitload of people have called in.
Hey, wear your fella's shirt.
What's that?
Wear your fella's shirt. Fellas 92 podcast shirt.
Oh shit! I made a shirt for Alien Con, dude. I bought the whole family.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, we got a.
Okay.
The front says taken, and on the back it says returned.
Oh, take a couple with you. If you find someone on the show, give them a shirt.
Oh no, I'm serious, sincerely, man. Sincerely, I am. Maybe,
that'd be cool.
You know, just get the word out. I know we got some shirts down there in San Diego. When I did mailing last week, Kenny Clarkson got one down there, so he's pimping it down there.
All right, on.
Yeah, we got to get together with that cat too, man.
You probably got some good stories, huh?
Oh shit, man! You know that's coming. He was a freshman when we were seniors, dude. Or yeah, I think so, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So he's coming at a different perspective, you know.
I really, at some point would like to get Greg Flory on.
Dude, Flory's fucking. He's gonna be down when we go camping, the camping trip, dude. We'll get him in for a fucking session in.
That fucking guy's an interesting motherfucker.
Dude, highly intelligent. I mean, the only guy I can think of that fucking rivals him is little Jimmy, dude. I mean, he's got him and Flory got to be like fucking above 180 IQ, dude.
Yeah, I want to hear about it.
Oh crap, dude! My dogs are going off. Well, shit, Weller, I'm gonna get these guys going, and I'll talk to you soon, brother.
All right, bro.
All right, man. All right, so hold on a sec. I'm gonna go get our first setup. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna ask each one of these guys questions. I got 10 questions. I'm gonna ask each one of them. They are my kids, but I haven't coached them or none of that kind of shit. And you'll see this happened probably close to 14 or 15 years ago. But the memory is so fucking vivid. I mean, it changed my life, and it made me the person I am today. And well, we're just gonna roll with it. I'm not fucking around. I'm telling you guys the truth. This is what happened, and we'll see what each one of these kids got to say about it. I'll introduce. I'm sorry, I'm starting to get a little emotional, but we'll see what each one of these got to say about it. All right, hold on. Who's first? Me. Come on, bud. Come on, man. We're recording.
Let me get it real quick. Sorry, Dad. Someone's at the door. I'm coming right now.
Hurry up, man. Sorry about that. We had a neighbor stop by. That's the way it is when you're living in the studio. So this first guy, shut that door, boy. What are you doing, man? You can't come on talent with fucking food in your hand, man. What are you doing?
I gotta drive later.
KJ. Fucking go ahead and put your ears on right there.
These guys?
Yeah. So for those of you guys that don't know, this is Junior. This is KJ the Deuce. It's my son.
His favorite.
Yeah. You are my favorite. You know that.
I know.
Right. As long as you know that, bud. Dad loves you.
I love you too, Dad.
Alright. So like I said, when you come out and you talk about UFOs, people think you're crazy and shit, and I asked my kids if they wanted to talk about it first, and they all know what's going on, so we'll just start with the questions. KJ, or you can tell them who you are, what you're about, what's going down.
I'm Junior Deuce.
Look at the camera.
What do you want me to just tell them?
I don't know, we're in front of like 100,000 people right now.
No, it's kind of intimidating.
Yeah. If you cry or sweat or you get emotional, it's all good. Don't worry about it, man.
I don't know. What should I start off with?
I don't know, how old are you, man?
I'm 23. I'll be 24 in November this year.
Yeah.
I'm an electrician right now. Currently trying out for corrections. Just living life.
You like to party?
I like to party.
No, I said I like to party, so you can't say that because I said that first.
I'm a Sith Lord, not a Jedi. Bonsai!
Alright, so here we go. What I did was I wrote down some questions right here. I'm going to ask you, Annie, and Kayla all the same questions.
Okay.
And after you answer each question, just kind of just tell the truth, man.
Okay.
You know? This isn't funny. This isn't for fucking shits and giggles or nothing. This is something that really went down, and we'll see how it is. How old were you when when you first saw this thing?
Let's see. My mom and dad got a divorce when I was 11, so
That wasn't part of the question.
I had to have been 8 or 9. I think I was 8 years old because I was still playing soccer.
Okay. Yep, that's right. It's pretty good. Do you feel like you remember a lot of what happened?
I remember everything.
You remember it all?
Everything.
Okay.
Remember
So-
what I did at soccer that day, you know?
What was so you were at soccer practice,
Mm-hmm.
and then what happened after soccer practice?
After soccer practice, you, in your white Tacoma at the time, you had Annie and Kayla with you, and you guys all came to pick me up from soccer practice, and we were on our way back home. This is when we lived off of Sheldon.
Yep.
Yeah. And I don't remember the road or anything.
Elk Grove Boulevard in Sheldon.
Yeah, and then we stopped at the railroad tracks. and it was a big old line of cars, you know. And I remember there was a guy behind you, and he kept flashing his beams at you, you know, to get your attention, and you didn't know. It kind of got you mad. So you're like, what the fuck? What's this guy doing, you know, over there? And he's like, look up there, look in the sky, you know. And it wasn't like he was freaked out, but he was like, you know, look in the sky, you know. And I just, you know, I was little, but growing up watching Star Wars and shit like that, you know, you don't really ever, you don't think of shit like that happening or anything. Like, you don't know when shit like that will ever happen or anything like that. And I just remember looking up, and I had no clue how big it really was. But all I remember is maybe 600 yards, maybe even more than that, out away from the car. But in the sky, it was, you know, maybe about, like, I don't know how to estimate that. Maybe like a half mile in the sky, or like a mile in the sky, or something like that, you know, high up there. But yeah, we seen this triangle floating in the sky.
I was gonna say. So what was the size of it? So you're talking about it when it was up in the sky, but I'm sure as you go through your story, you'll say how.
Oh yeah.
But what shape was it?
It was a triangle, for sure. From what I seen, you know, like, you know, we've talked about what we've seen a lot of times, and I mean, it was a triangle, but like, you know, what we seen when it was moving around, it wasn't just moving like this or anything. It was moving like.
Show me with the phone when it was doing that.
So instead of just moving like an airplane like this, you know, in the sky or whatever, this thing was moving around like this.
It was, yeah. Okay.
It was like it could go any direction it wanted.
So what color was it?
It was blacker than the sky, but it had 3 lights on each tip of it, which made us, you know, obviously looks like a triangle.
What time of day was it?
It had to have been like 6 or 7, you know, like turning into dusk, or it just got dark. It had just got dark. Soccer practice was over, yeah. So on our way home, it was, you know, that 5 seconds till it was dark time, kind of dark. But I remember when we seen it, it was darker than the sky.
So how fast or slow did this thing move?
So when it was in the sky moving, you gotta think, you know, how far away we were and how it was moving. So if it was so far away and it was still moving like this, you know, and I mean, that was pretty quick and pretty far, so I don't know, pretty fast, you know. But I do remember that, you know, we sat there and we watched it till it was gone, and when it was gone, it wasn't just.
How long do you think you watched it for?
I want to say like 15, 20 minutes.
Okay.
On the side of the road.
Okay, and that after you noticed it doing its maneuvers, what happened? How did it escape, or where did it go, or what happened?
So, like I said, when it was moving around, you know, it was doing all this moving and stuff like that. What I showed you, but it also was dropping these like balls of red light, and like I said, the lights on this triangle that we seen were red on each corner, each tip. And yeah, it was dropping these, like, it looked like fireballs, but, you know, red, more red, like a Star Wars laser beam red like that, not like fire red. But as it was dropping these things in the sky. It wasn't just like pew, pew. These things were like. I don't remember how many it dropped, but I know it was like, you know, more than 2, and it was dropping these things.
And then what happened?
Then after that, moved around for like maybe, you know, just a couple more times, a couple more turns of like the whole flipping shit or whatever. But it took off, and like I said, when it took off, it wasn't just like an airplane, like, oh, I'm coming out of here or whatever. It was like gone, like gone, like it collapsed into itself and was just gone.
Okay. So after you seen this, how did it make you feel?
At the time, I was only 8 years old or 9, so I thought it was kind of cool, but, because, I don't know, Star Wars and shit, sci-fi, that shit's always been cool, but, now that I'm older and what it's put you through that I've witnessed, just different changes and beliefs that you've had before then, like my dad I knew before then,
Yeah.
and the dad I know now is totally different because of that day.
Okay. And how did it change your life or your faith?
It changed my life a lot because, well, for one thing, you've never lied to me. You don't ever lie to me. But as far as like changing my life when it comes to religion and stuff like that now,
However you want to answer it.
yeah, it's hard for me to have faith and stuff like that when there's no proof, or it's just
No proof in what?
no proof in I don't know, just false idols, like like Jesus is your God, or Buddha's your God, and stuff like that. And I don't want to get into religion too much like that, because we could go on there forever. But just back to the alien thing, it just changed my view on religion. Thoughts of just living here as human beings on our own.
Well, let me ask you this: if you didn't know about airplanes, or you didn't know about helicopters or anything like that, because of the size, the shape, the way this thing moved, would you say it was godly?
If I didn't know any of that, yeah.
Yeah. It'd be very easy to believe something that big. And,
Oh yeah.
okay, and then last thing, what do you have to say to people that are non-believers?
Just always look into, with everything, regardless of aliens or other intelligence, just always try to look for the truth, look for facts. Never try to just assume things are true just because other people say they are, believe that they are. Find it out for yourself. And with aliens, if you don't believe that there is other life out there in the galaxy, then you're more naive than you think.
All right, bud. I love you, man.
I love you too.
Thank you for doing this. I do appreciate it. I do. Go ahead and send the next one in.
All right.
Good job. This little deuce right there. You can catch him Thursday nights bowling, strikes and pins in Elk Grove. He does all right. I can tell he started sweating a little bit there. It's starting to get to him. And it makes me feel weird too. And I don't agree with some of the things he said, but that's what's coming from his memory, and like I said, he's 24 now, so it was about 15 years ago. I think he did pretty well recollecting what he saw there. And at the end of it, I'll tell you my side. Uh-oh! Hi, babe. This is my oldest one that came out of my nuts. Kayla, go ahead and put the headphones on, babe. So what I'm gonna do here?
I can hear you.
Yeah, it's rocking, huh? I told you this.
My
shit
head's
was
too big for these. Kid just got a little head.
No, that's those Wellers.
Oh,
You
Weller's
pull
got a
it.
little head.
Pull the other side.
Oh,
There you go. All right, so what I did is I wrote down some questions. I'm gonna ask you the same ones I asked KJ, and then just get your point of view from it, and then go ahead and tell them who you are and what you're about.
Moosey Goon from G-Town. And I take care of old people.
Okay,
Do
I'm
the
gonna start it.
activities.
You take care of old people.
Yes, sir.
Put it down.
Just try to make my dad proud every day.
Made me a grandpa last year.
I did.
Had the little tiny today. We went swimming for the first time. It was cool.
Yep.
All right. So first of all, how old are you now?
I'll be 25 in September.
25 in September. All right. So, how old were you when this thing happened?
We moved to Galt when I was 10, so I was probably 9 or 10. I wasn't older than 10 years old.
All right. That fits the timeline. Tell me what was going on that day before you had this sighting deal.
I remember we went to Walgreens because you were always going on little snack runs with us. And we were on our way back from Walgreens when it happened. We were stopped at the railroad tracks. I think we went to go get KJ or something, but I know me, you, and Annie went to Walgreens.
Yeah. Okay, so how much do you think you remember that day?
The whole entire day?
No, I mean just what happened.
Pretty good.
Okay. And once again, like I said, I haven't coached her, or she hasn't seen any of these questions. KJ didn't see any of that stuff too, so you'll see the questions line up, but they're going to have their own point of view and their own story. And I want to remind you, KJ's story was coming from an 8-year-old boy. Kayla's story is coming from a 10-year-old girl. So, how big was the thing you saw?
I don't know. From up in the sky, it was like probably like the size of my thumbnail, maybe, from where we were. But that's from seeing it so far away.
All right. And then what shape was it?
I remember it being a triangle.
Triangle?
Yeah.
Okay. And how did it move?
Weird.
Show me with the phone how it moved.
Like from side to side,
No,
not like it was going.
Show it.
Oh, sorry. It wasn't going like straight like a plane. It was going like, it would move weird.
Okay.
I don't know how to explain that.
And then how close did it get? How close do you think it got to you from where we were at?
I wouldn't say it was right above us, but it was. I remember looking off to the left of where we were, and that's where it was. It was probably, I don't know.
Okay, so tell me how you came about seeing it. What made you see this thing?
We were going home from Walgreens. We stopped at the railroad tracks, and you said, "Oh shit!" And we look over there. You're like, "Look, you guys." And we look over there, and you said, "Let's get out of the truck." So we got out of the truck, and we were looking at this thing, and I remember looking behind us, and you're like, "You fucking see that?" And there were so many people out of their car looking at the same thing, pointing at the sky.
Yeah. Okay. What color was it?
I don't know. It was dark, so I only remember it was in a triangle because of the 3 lights, and then it would drop the little red things.
Okay, so how fast do you think it moved, or how slow do you think it moved?
Kind of in the middle. It didn't go like an airplane up in the sky where you see it just kind of gradually going on. It was going different. It moved pretty fast, but not like.
Okay. And how long do you think you watched this thing?
It felt like forever, but it was probably only like, I wouldn't say more than 30 seconds or to a minute.
Okay.
I was 10.
And then after you saw it, how did it make you feel?
I don't know. I grew up with you always telling me about that kind of stuff and not to be afraid of them. So to me, I was like, oh, fuck yeah, I just saw an alien. But
okay, so did it change your life or your faith?
I always grew up with you telling me that shit's real and to always have my mind open. So seeing it definitely made me believe that something else is out there. Not that my dad's just telling me that the devil's gonna come sit on my bed or he could start a fire with the light switch. So there was proof in that.
Okay. And then if you have to say, so you believe in aliens now?
Fuck yeah.
Okay, so what do you have to say to people that are non-believers?
Open your mind.
Yeah.
There's people that are here every day living in different dimensions. Look at the people that I work with, people that have dementia.
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah.
If you don't believe in any of that kind of stuff, go spend a day with me at the home. Fucking shit.
True.
Or kick it with dogs. All that kind of stuff's real.
Yeah.
Babies too.
It's all perspective, and that's part of what I want to get out here today is just the different perspectives, because you know, you guys were little. I remember you were little, and you don't remember as much as I do because I was older. But at the end of this, I'll tell my side of the story, and will everybody be able to kind of put all the different points of view together.
The main thing I remember from it is, you know those little cherry bombs, those fireworks?
Yeah.
And you light them, or the smoke bombs, and it kind of zips
The
off.
little flowers.
I remember when it would move, it was dropping these little things, and they were red. And then they just disappear. But it was dropping them.
Where'd they disappear to?
Don't have any fucking idea. Right into the sky, dude. I have no idea. It was like just gone.
All right. Well, you know you're my favorite.
I know you probably told Katie that shit too, but I know you mean it.
You know I did it.
Yeah, right.
I wouldn't
Yeah,
do
fucking
that.
right.
I would do that. Well, let's go ahead and send the last one in here. Thank you, Moose.
I'm stuck, Dad.
I appreciate you doing this.
Oh, you know, I appreciate you birthing me.
People might think you're crazy now.
I don't give a fuck.
It's
I
all
think
right.
I'm crazy anyway.
Well, you can tell both of them had a little different difference in the time of how long it lasted. A little difference in the time of day. Kayla was right about the Walgreens because it was right across the street from soccer practice. But KJ said we were coming from soccer practice. Kayla said we were coming from Walgreens. So there's a little bit of difference in the story right there.
Uh-oh.
Here's my favorite one right here.
Yeah, I always knew it was your favorite.
Hi, baby.
Hello. Am I tall enough?
You're alright. Here, go ahead and put these on. Okay. This is my sister kid right here, Annie. What is that sound? Oh, it's the water. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Somebody's running the water. Okay, so this is Annie. She lived with me most of her whole life. That's why I call her my sister kid. But she was there and she saw that day too. So what I'm gonna do, Channy, is I'm gonna I wrote down all these questions here. You haven't seen them. Kayla or KJ didn't see them. And I want you to just give me your answers the best you can to it, alright? But go ahead and tell everybody who you are and what you're about.
My name's Annie. I'm his little sister. And I'm all about peace and love.
How old are you, babe?
26. Turning 27 next month.
34.
No!
That's cool.
He's always trying to push my age. Always. Let me live.
It's all good. Alright. That's cool. So, how old were you when this happened?
I remember being 12.
You're 12?
Mhm.
Okay. So, all your guys' ages match up. And I'll tell you because you're the last one. So your ages match up to the story. Because KJ was 8, Kayla was 10, and you were 12.
Yep.
So all your stories on your age match up. Okay. And then what were you doing when we seen this? What was happening that day?
Well, from what I remember, we were supposed to go camping that weekend, and we were going to Walgreens, and we got some snacks, and then we were on our way back, and we stopped at the railroad. We saw something.
Okay. So, how much do you think you remember of it?
I remember, like, all of it. I think I remember all of it.
Okay. All right. So, what happened? What made you see this, or how'd you go about seeing this?
I remember you pointing, saying, like, look at that, something out there. And then we saw tons of people all parked over there and, like, on the side.
They were parked where?
Like, on the side of the road. It was, like, I remember being a field.
Okay.
Because there was, like, a railroad there. And then we pulled over, and I remember seeing something huge and round in the sky. Like, I remember taking up the whole sky. And I remember it moving, like, in circles.
Show me with the phone how it moved.
Like, I remember it was just literally going like that.
Okay.
And, like, I seriously remember, like, a little bit of wind coming down. And the trippiest part was at the end, these little red things started coming down, like, going left, right, left, right, left, right.
Okay, hold on a second. So, how big was it?
Like, it took up, for me, I remember it taking up the whole sky, so definitely bigger than an airplane.
Okay. What shape was it?
Circular.
Was it circle?
Yeah, circle.
Okay. And then, what colors were it?
I remember it being like black and gray, and I remember some lights like blue
Okay.
and white lights.
Blue and white lights?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. And then how fast or slow would you say it was moving?
I would say at least like 20 miles an hour. Like it seemed like it was going fairly
It was
at
going.
good speed.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're talking about like rotation.
Rotation wise.
I'm talking about like
Oh.
when it moved. How?
Oh my goodness. Like lengthwise?
Yeah.
It was pretty big. I don't know, I just remember taking up the whole sky because I was a kid, you know. I just was like, oh my god, like the whole sky is filled with this thing.
Okay. So, how long do you think you saw it for? How long did it happen?
It only felt like a few minutes,
A few minutes,
Mhm.
like 2 minutes or 7?
like
or
2 minutes. Like it felt like we were seeing it and it was there, and then
And it was gone. Okay.
gone.
After you saw it, how did it make you feel?
Really happy because I always believed in like aliens and UFOs, and people called me crazy, and I finally got to see something that disappeared in an undescribable way that I don't think was man-made. Like couldn't have happened that way.
Okay. So, how did it change your life or your faith?
It just made me realize that there's definitely something bigger than us out there, that we're not aware of, and it's way smarter than us, beyond our intelligence.
Okay, and then this is the last one. What do you think you would have to say to non-believers now? People that don't believe in UFOs.
I would tell them, you haven't seen what I've seen, so I wouldn't have so much doubt, you know, because once you see it, it's a totally different feeling.
Once you see it, you can't unsee it, huh?
No, and the weirdest part was how it disappeared, though.
How did it disappear?
Like, you know how like the old TVs, like when you turn them off, like they all swoop like inside, like that's how it disappeared. It just all went up in the sky and was gone. That's what tripped me out the most. Like
it didn't just fly off?
no, it didn't fly off. It just went whew, like, and I was like, where'd it go? Like it's just gone.
It was
Like,
gone.
how did that happen? That's what tripped me out the most to this
Then
day.
what did everybody do that was watching it after it disappeared like that?
I just remember them all going like, oh my god, I'm just like what happened?
How many people do you think were out there?
I
Just guessing.
I would say like 35.
Okay.
Like it was a good group of people. I saw a pretty good group of them. We didn't have fancy phones back then, so
No, I remember I had a Motorola
Yeah.
flip phone.
and I saw people with their VHS thingies,
Yeah.
those things. Yeah. So I was like, man. But yeah, it was a life-changing experience.
All right.
I still remember and tell to this day.
All right, baby, you did good.
I love you
I love you. Thank you for doing this.
always.
All right.
Peace out.
All right, so I'm going to close the show up. Good job, Channy.
Thank you. Love you, dude.
I love you, babe. Well, they all got different stories, but they're coming from young-minded kids that this happened 15 years ago. And I'm proud of them for coming on here and saying what they had to say, because this thing really did affect our family. So I'll give you my go from it. They're all right on their stories at the beginning. We live right by Walgreens and the soccer field, so what I was doing is I went to pick KJ up from soccer practice, and Annie and Kayla came with me because we were going camping. So we pick KJ up, go to Walgreens, get some candy and shit. We come out, and there's a train going by. And when a train goes by, the cars start to back up. It was probably like 6:30 or 7 o'clock in like July. So it was still fairly light outside. It was starting to get a little dark, but it wasn't even dusk yet. So this guy behind me starts high beaming my truck, and I'm like, what the fuck is this guy high beaming me for, So I turn around, look at this guy, and he's like, look. And this is where our story starts to change a little bit right here, or the kids did, because they're all right. At first, this thing was probably, I want to say, maybe quarter mile in the air or so. It was fairly high. And that's what I get upset with when people say they seen UFOs. It's always like they see this little fucking dot in the sky, or they film a little dot moving around and shit like this. But that's not what happened here. This thing, fucking, the thing that we saw, if you've ever seen an aircraft carrier, like in a shipyard or up close, a submarine, some big type of machinery like that, it lets you know how small you are when you're next to the aircraft carrier. And at first, this thing we saw in the sky was up there like they're saying, but it was in trouble. There was something wrong with it. The kids are right. It was spinning, not the way something normal would operate. It was spinning and in trouble. It was a triangle, black triangle shaped. I don't know how Annie got circle, but that's her memory. But on the bottom of this triangle, it did have a circle in the middle that was whitish blue color, like she said, so that kind of fit too. But at each one of the triangle corners, there was also another light. So when this thing was flipping in the sky, like, I don't know, horizontal, we couldn't see it. We just see the shape of the triangle. But when it came down and it seemed like it started to get control, it started to just barely spin around like this. And it was maybe 6 or 7 stories off the ground. I want to see 70, maybe 60, 70 feet off the ground. And the thing was probably 200 yards by 200 yards by 200 yards. And the thickness of it was probably like a 2 to 3 story home. I mean, this thing was so fucking big, it must have been carrying, I don't know, 1,500 people. That's how big this thing was. And it scared the shit out of me. I never seen anything like this before. Like KJ, I love Star Wars, I love Star Trek, all that shit as a kid, but I was hardcore Jesus guy. Hardcore in the faith. I was raised by 6 different families. I learned 5 different religions, with Jesus as the pinnacle in each one of those religions. And what this thing did was that it made me rethink my faith, my spot in the world. It fucked me up pretty good. But what happened was this. So this thing, it like leveled out and it was spinning around on the ground. And it was just after soccer practice, like I said. So there was probably, I don't know, maybe 6 teams practicing out on multiple fields there. And the cars that were not only backed up for the train where we were headed, there was cars along the field, like Annie said. And I want to guess there was probably 200 people, maybe, I don't know, 40 or 50 cars, but probably 200 people that witnessed this thing. And it lasted for about 5 minutes, which doesn't seem, 5 minutes doesn't seem very long, but it was long enough. So once the UFO started to fucking spin around like this and it got control, this is at Elk Grove, Florin, and Sheldon Road, out in the field by the storage place. All of a sudden, this thing went boom, and it must have jumped probably 2 or 3 miles within a few seconds, and then it came like almost right back to the exact same spot, and then it stopped. And it stopped spinning. It was just sitting there, flat in the air, not making a sound, not moving, just stagnant in the air. And that's where the kids were right. It started to discharge some flares that move, or some type of light, like balls of light that started to fucking bounce down to the field. And this particular field where it happened, we lived on the other side, and I walk my dogs. I still walk my dogs every night. I walked my dogs out in that field for years. And after this happened, I went through that field hundreds of times, and I couldn't find anything. And I'm talking about dry fucking hay, wheat field, whatever the fuck kind of field that is. You see them all over. They're just dry and dirt clods and shit, and I couldn't find nothing. I don't know what type of light it let down, but there was no fucking type of evidence or anything like that. And what happened was, after we seen this thing, we got in the back of the truck and we watched it. Probably about 3 or 4 minutes after the initial sighting, we got in the back of the pickup truck. All these other people were watching it and shit. And then after it stopped discharging the light like this, it didn't take off. It didn't zoom anywhere. Like the kids said, it just fucking collapsed, or it put a cloak on it or something. It disappeared from sight. And then the railroad arms had already come up. The train had been passed, but everybody was still stopped on both sides, because we could see it from this side, and the other people from the other side of the train could see it from that side. There was no fucking honking, nobody being rude, or it was just a fucking state of awe. And then all of a sudden, some fucking stoners or somebody that was back in the line was like, fuck yeah, and then people started clapping and shit, and I don't know, they were all fucking happy, but I got fucking scared as fuck, and I didn't know what to tell my kids, because it totally blew out everything I had in my faith, because I believe in God and Jesus, and was a strong Christian, but it shook my faith, and it actually opened my eyes. And that's when, like my son said, I did start to change. I started to read the Torah, the Quran, Buddhist laws, Egyptian Book of the Dead. I was searching for a long, long time, and I still am today. I'm a very spiritual person, but I no longer have faith in religion. I just have faith in God, because I know my God created those people or those beings that were flying that thing. And mind you, this was 15 years ago. I know there's a TR-3B, or there's an Astra, and there's all kinds of triangular craft that the United States has and other military forces have. But this thing, 15 years ago, as big as it was, as fast as it was, if we had any type of technology like that, we would be using it. We wouldn't be building fucking bullet trains or still flying around in airplanes to go from LA to Vegas and San Francisco to Hong Kong and shit like that. Because this thing moved so fucking fast. It was so fucking big. The perspective on how big it is I live in like a cul-de-sac. And this thing would cover the whole fucking cul-de-sac. I'm talking all 6 houses. That's how big this thing was. And it's real. I'm not bullshitting you. This is what happened. You can choose to believe whatever you want. When I got home, I had my brother was living with me also, but he didn't go to the store with us. And then my first wife, she was very upset. She thought I had brainwashed the kids, or I was fucking with them, because I do fuck with the kids a lot. But me and her got into it hardcore. We had a big battle. We already have rifts in our marriage and stuff, but this was like the tipping point, or put it over. So me and her fighting for, I don't know, a couple hours after it, and go to bed. I get called out to work, and I leave about 1 o'clock in the morning. I come back, it's about 3:30 in the morning. When I'm coming back through the neighborhood, there's all these fucking papers put in the windshields of the cars, and it said UFO sighting. This is not part of your government. Please be vigilant. I grabbed the paper and I put it in on the kitchen table. It was in all the cars. And I started to eat something. I get called back out to work. I come home this time about 6 in the morning. When I come back at 6, all the fucking papers that were put on the cars had been taken off all the cars. But I still have mine that I kept in the kitchen. Tried to show my wife what had happened at the time, and she thought I ran to Kiko's and made this thing up, and we got into another fight about that. So Saturday rolls around, we go to the soccer game, and what do you know at the soccer game? Every fucking buddy's talking about it. All the moms, all the dads, all the kids, everybody's talking about it. So then I'm like, yes, I have fucking justification. I have other people that saw this. That this is fucking awesome. Now I can fucking flip the script on her. No. Didn't turn her. She didn't fucking believe still. She thought we all had a mass hallucination. Like 200 people saw fucking a mass hallucination together or something. But that's why KJ was upset. You know, me and his mom ended up divorcing. And I wouldn't say the UFO was the main reason, but it was a big part of it because it did change my life. It changed who I am and my beliefs spiritually. I no longer attend church. To be honest, I still read the Bible quite a bit and the Quran. They both have some fucking awesome literature in there, some awesome poetry, and the truth is the truth. When you read the truth, it's the fucking truth. So I don't care who's putting it out there. If it's the truth, it's the truth. But I didn't want to do this. I really didn't, because people think of you differently after you say you saw something like this. My best friend at the time, Dan, he still don't believe me that I saw this. He still thinks that I'm fucking crazy and that my kids were going along on a joke or something like that. But it's what really happened, and not ashamed of it anymore. That's why I'm headed down to AlienCon this weekend. Try to pimp the Fellas 92 channel a little bit. Maybe get some believers, start watching the show, some more subscribers. But that it is what it is. All right. I fucking love you guys. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, I appreciate you. Don't forget to hit subscribe. Me and Weller will be back not Sunday, but the next Sunday. Thank you.